Number 10. Dingoes. The dingo is a lean-bodied and agile species of canid native to Australia. The animal is generally viewed as a feral dog, since it likely hails from domesticated ancestors. When British colonists first settled the continent, they found these creatures living with indigenous Australians. Nowadays, dingoes survive independently from humans and form packs that can take down animals as large as red kangaroos, feral horses, or water buffaloes. Throughout the country's developmental history, they have massively preyed on livestock. Measures to control them have included dingo fences, guardian dogs, and poisoning, all with limited success. While they prefer avoiding humans, several fatal incidents have been reported. The case of Azaria Chamberlain is the most prominent example of dingoes hunting humans. While on a camping trip with her parents, the 2-month-old girl was snatched by a dingo from the family's tent. Her body was never found. Prosecutors didn't believe Azaria's mother, who'd maintained that a dingo had taken her baby. The woman was charged with murder and spent 3 years in prison. She was released after a strip of her daughter's clothing was found near a dingo lair, thus prompting a new investigation. Number 9. African crowned eagles. According to one theory, African crowned eagles could involuntarily have contributed to human evolution. Fossil evidence from South Africa seems to indicate that this bird or one of its close relatives preyed on our primate ancestors. As such, they evolved towards larger bodies and brains in order to escape becoming its victims. The African crowned eagle, recognized as the continent's most powerful eagle, might be the only bird of prey to actively target human children. In one case, an African crowned eagle ambushed a 7-year-old boy and plunged its talons through the child's throat and chest. In another incident, the severed arm of a young girl was found in a tall tree, known for being an eagle cache. More gruesome still, the skull of a child was discovered in a crowned eagle nest. 90% of the creature's diet is mammalian, and its strength is a thing of legend. The crowned eagle is reportedly capable of lifting prey items heavier than itself in flight. The squeeze of its talons produces such force that it can actually crush the skull of small primates. Number 8. Coyotes. Because of their size, coyotes don't really pose a fatal threat to most healthy adult human beings. Even the largest coyote species really weigh above 44 pounds, meaning that they're only about 4 times heavier than the average household cat. Nevertheless, these canids have well-developed predatory instincts and are known as the primary livestock predators in North America. Recent years have also seen a rise in attacks on humans. This is particularly true for the state of California. It's mainly the result of people, either purposefully or inadvertently, feeding coyotes roaming the outskirts of urban establishments. In consequence, these beasts gradually start to lose their fear of humans. Urban coyotes have confronted people walking their pets, chased cyclists and joggers, as well as stalked children. The death of 3-year-old Kelly Keene is often cited among the most gruesome coyote-related incidents. Kelly was watching TV at her home in Glendale when her mother left to run some errands. The child let herself out the front door, at which point a coyote took her in its mouth and dragged her through the streets. Kelly had already sustained critical damage before her father intervened and chased the coyote away. She ultimately succumbed to blood loss and a broken neck. Number 7. Komodo dragons. Komodo dragons are the largest extant lizard species and basically look like dinosaurs that are still roaming the planet. They're only found on islands in the Indonesian archipelago and have been known to hunt humans. Because of the remoteness of their native habitats, predatory attacks often go unreported. The Komodo dragon owns several physical attributes that make it a fearsome predator. Its body is covered in bony plates called osteoderms, acting like natural chainmail armor. Its bite is quick, vicious, and the dragon's serrated teeth are capable of producing deep, lacerating damage. As the massive lizard bites into its prey, toxic proteins secreted by glands in its lower jaw seep into the open wound. Symptoms of envenomation include muscle paralysis, inhibiting blood clotting, and the induction of hypothermia. Number 6. Ticks. Ticks are arachnids, meaning they're part of the same animal class as spiders and scorpions. These parasites feed on the blood of animals ranging from mammals to birds and even some reptiles. Almost all species are distributed into two families, commonly known as hard-bodied ticks and soft-bodied ticks. They'll use their mouth parts to pierce through the host's skin and start feeding on its blood. Their pear-shaped bodies are engorged as they feed, becoming almost several hundred times heavier. When it comes to humans, ticks are vectors for a number of dangerous viruses and bacteria. Tick-borne disease include, among others, Lyme disease, Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever, and Rocky Mountain spotted fever. In addition to being disease transmitters, they can also cause paralysis via a neurotoxin in their salivary gland. Ticks have several ways of identifying potential hosts. These include detecting their odors and breath, as well as sensing moisture, vibrations, or body heat. Ticks of the hard-bodied variety will hunt via a technique called questing. They'll cling to plants with their first pair of legs outstretched, waiting to grasp and climb onto passing hosts. Number 5. Goonch. The giant devil catfish, also known as the goonch, inhabits the rivers of the Indian subcontinent. It can grow to be nearly 6 feet 6 inches long and over 200 pounds heavy. This would make the creature relative to the height of the average NBA player, while weighing about as much as a heavyweight boxer. Some catfish grow large enough to take on water buffaloes. There have been several reports of them preying on humans, but none quite as infamous as the Kali River goonch attacks. From 1998 to 2007, several villages along the river in Nepal and India reported that man-eating fish were claiming locals' lives. The first victim, a teenager, was dragged below the surface right in front of his girlfriend. At least 2 fatalities followed. It's believed that the monstrous fish had developed a taste for human flesh after eating remains discarded from funeral pyres along the banks. The attacks stopped as suddenly as they'd begun, but many villagers were still wary of going into the river. Number 4. Hippo. Perhaps the most bizarre aspect about hippos attacking humans is that they don't really need to do it. They're herbivores that feed almost exclusively on aquatic plants and grass. Yet these notoriously aggressive beasts are often cited as being responsible for more human deaths than any other animals on the African continent. Not even humans in boats are safe, as hippos are often reported to charge and attack them. One high-profile incident was reported in Niger in 2014 when a hippo capsized a boat, killing 13 people. Merely witnessing a hippo doing its characteristic yawn is terrifying, as these animals can open their mouths to almost 180 degrees. Their canines can grow to be 2 feet, meaning they're longer than the average human forearm. Hippo teeth play no role in feeding and are used entirely for combat. Enormous jaw muscles aid in delivering a bone-breaking bite, which is why most predators tend to give hippos a wide berth. Additionally, their 2-inch thick skin offers great protection during fights. Males never stop growing throughout their lives. One record-breaking specimen was reported at 9,920 pounds, which is about twice as heavy as an adult black rhino. Number 3. Human botflies. Dermatobia hominis, also known as the human botfly, has a rather cunning way of ensuring its larvae grow inside a warm-blooded host. The female botfly will use other species as vectors, including ticks or other flies such as mosquitoes. The botfly will capture one of these species, then attach its eggs to its body. The eggs may find their way into a human host in various ways, including through the nose, ears, or an open wound. If they're traveling with a mosquito, the larvae may actually enter the human body through the mosquito's bite mark. For weeks, they grow in the subcutaneous layers of their host, feeding on living tissue. It's a type of parasitic infection known as myiasis. In some cases, the live maggots can actually be seen crawling beneath their victim's skin. Number 2. Sharks. 3 shark species usually stand out among those that actively pursue humans as prey. These are tiger sharks, great whites and bull sharks, each with their own terrifying attributes. For great white sharks, the largest extant predatory fish, it's all about size and strength. Exceptional females can grow to weigh up to